minor pentatonic scale. You've probably played this before. It seems to be like that's the place where people start when they teach minor pentatonics, and a lot of books and so forth, and it's a really great key to play in. But I want to talk to you today about how to practice those pentatonic scales. A lot of the videos you see me do here online are about finger picking blues, but I've also teach accompanied blues, soloing and playing blues rhythms with other people. I even wrote a book called Jamming the Blues, a guide to soloing over 12-bar blues shuffles. And the sort of the launching pad for soloing are these minor pentatonic scales. So this is going to be several different parts to these lessons. The first off, I want to get into the different patterns of the pentatonic scale and what I seen from my students as to how you should approach practicing your scales. First off, pentatonic. Penta means 5. There are 5 notes to the scale, and we're going to start with that first pattern in A minor, which starts at the 5th fret. A, C, D, E, G, and then back to A. So there's 5 notes there. For each note of the pentatonic, there's a different pattern. So the first note, A, that's where your first pattern starts, the root note. There'll be the next pattern will start on the second note of the pattern you just played. So I'll get into that a little bit more in a minute. But first off, this first pattern, you'll notice I'm going to play, I'll just play it and tell you exactly what I'm playing. I'm playing 5th fret, 5th fret 6th string, 8th fret, 5th string 5th, 7, next string 4, 5th fret, 7th fret, next string 5th fret, 7th fret, next string 5th fret, 8th fret, next string 5th fret, 8th fret. Okay? So first thing you'll notice, there are 2 notes played on each string. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Since you're only playing 2 notes on each string, one of the first things technique-wise you can work on here is your picking hand. Down, up, down, up, down, up. So each string, if you start with the down pick, then you know the next one will be an up. And then the next string, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay? So that's one thing you can work on. You can also play all downstrokes. But at some point you're going to want to work on that alternate picking just to gain speed. Also, in each pattern, what I do is dedicate 1 finger per fret. This is important, I think, for not just practicing scales, but as you create phrases or look at what other phrases other players have played in solos. You want to look at sort of a spread of 1, 2, 3, 4 frets. So I'm here at the 5th fret, and then when I go to the 8th fret, I'm using my pinky. That makes sense in a sense that 1 finger per fret. If I play the 5th fret with my first finger, then play the 6th fret with my second finger, and the 7th fret with my third finger, pinky. So as I play this scale, and I'm only playing 5, 8, and 5, 7. So I'm only using first finger, pinky, and third finger. Another thing to keep in mind is your hand position. Where is your thumb? It should be in the back of the guitar. It shouldn't be like this. It shouldn't be hanging over the top of the guitar. It should be back somewhere probably around the middle part of the neck, supporting what's going on out front. And over the years, this is what I hear from people who tend to hang their thumb here. They're fine on the high strings, but when their thumb is up here, they start to pull the string sharp. If you think about it, if your thumb's behind the neck, it's easier for your finger to arch around and actually just the tip of your finger grab the string. So if you're getting sounds like that, look at your thumb. Okay. So those, I think, are the major points about when you, how to hold your hand and what technique to use. Now, you want to learn the other patterns of the pentatonic scale. So I'm going to go to the second pattern, which starts on the second note of the previous pattern. So I'm going to look at that pattern as I'm going to play it. And incidentally, I'm not going to print all this up for you. You can find this information easily online anywhere. We'll have the pentatonic scales, 5 patterns, A minor, whatever key you want. You can probably find it all over the internet. So this will be the second pattern. Another thing, just as far as technique, try to make each note even and sound the same. You want to create the same dynamic between notes. This pattern begins on the 8th fret. I'm going to go 8, 10, 7, 10, 7, 10, 7, 9, 8, 10, 8, 10. And you notice I'm using my pinky and pinky and middle fingers for the 8th, 10th fret. Now, would I use those fingers in the if I was playing a solo? Probably not. But just for playing a scale pattern, it's a good exercise because it'll give you more dexterity using those fingers, and just create more dexterity. So yeah, if I was playing a solo in there, I'd be more likely to use my 3rd finger and my index finger. Third pattern begins on the 2nd note of the previous pattern, so start at the 10th fret. This pattern's interesting because it can be played a couple different ways. Let me play the way I've been suggesting you play, which is 1 finger per fret. And right in there, you kind of have to move the position of your fingers. On the 2nd string, I'm at the 13th fret and the 10th fret, and then I have to move over to the 12th and 9th frets. You just have to. That's all there is to it. You'll notice that these first 3 strings are all 8, 10, 8, 10, 8. Excuse me, 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12. So I'm more likely in the course of playing a tune to use my index and ring finger. There's the 4th pattern. I'm on an acoustic guitar, so I'm kind of run out of space here. So I'll play the 4th pattern with the open strings. Keeping everything very even, each note sounding the same duration. If you want to work with a metronome, that's a great idea. You can set it up for quarter notes or 8th notes, however you want to play it. The 5th pattern. I call this a symmetrical pattern because it's on 2 low strings, it's 3, 5, then 2, 5 on the middle strings, the 4th and 3rd string, and then back to 3, 5 on the 2nd and 1st string. Okay, and then that brings you right back to home base, which is the 5th fret. As far as memorizing these scales, everybody's got busy lives, family obligations, jobs, etc. You're the best judge of how much time you have to practice and so forth. But set a goal for yourself. Like, I'm going to learn one pattern a week. So within 5 weeks, you would have all the patterns memorized. If you have more time, maybe you can do 2 patterns a week. It's totally up to you. If you're practicing, half an hour a day, I'd say 1 pattern is plenty per week. But try to get them down so that then you can play them all as one unit. So let me give you an example. Oop, my mistake. So you become full cycle or full circle and gone through all the scales. And then once you got that down, then you can practice them in different keys. So more on ideas on how to use the scales in the next lesson. Thanks.